This presentation is about how COVID-19 affected the restaurant industry. You'll see several different chains that likely look familiar discussing how these companies had to develop new models for the new times that we were in. There are stories around coming together, how we can be better together and help each other, with the understanding that hopefully one day, and as we know happened, we were expecting to be able to dine together again.
P.F. Chang's is a family-style restaurant chain operating 3 restaurant models. Originating in Scottsdale, Arizona, Chang's has grown from a single restaurant to 300 serving dishes in 20 countries. Their business models include bistro, fine dining or flagship, and to-go service. Bistro being the most common format, their flagship restaurants are much larger and reserved for highly populated affluent areas. And to-go service, restaurants require less space, focusing solely on takeout, delivery, and catering. In 2019, P.F. Chang's was purchased by Paulson & Co., and immediately its purchaser began looking at marketing strategy. Changes were already afoot when COVID came about. COVID merely accelerated those changes. In fact, Paulson noted that to-go dining accounted for less than 20% of revenues, and to-go services might allow entry into areas like Manhattan, where restaurant costs are at a premium. So this was viewed as a marketing opportunity. The chain began opening off-premise or to-go service restaurants in February 2020. They upgraded software such as online ordering and reservation systems and client relationship management software. The chain brought theater to tables by changing the way food was presented. One notable example was the steaming of the California rolls right at the table. Cutting costs has been a common theme in the restaurant business over the past few years. Chang's viewed costs differently. They viewed them as investments. Wanting to market themselves as a place where employees were valued, they invested in employee training and retention. The idea is that the initial investment would be repaid in spades by lowering training costs and hiring costs down the road. Chang's also invested in additional point of sale technology, making it easier to get orders right the first time and making it more convenient for diners to pay.
McDonald's is one of the biggest fast food restaurant chains in the entire United States of America. It has about 13,342 stores in the states alone and sells about 6.48 million burgers every single day, far outvaluing its competitors. You're also never going to be a state away from a McDonald's, seeing that you're only at max 115 miles away from each current McDonald's. This shows how big of a grasp McDonald's has in the current restaurant chains in America, outstaggering most all fast food chains. How did McDonald's become as big as it is today? Well, it comes down to one rule, and that is speed is a priority. And being a fellow worker at McDonald's for a good majority of my high school life, I can definitely tell you that that is true. Every McDonald's has a leaderboard comparing itself to every other local McDonald's within the region. So, for instance, every average wait time for each customer will be displayed on a leaderboard comparing the current McDonald's with everyone else's. This allows for every manager to look at the board and compare themselves to other managers across the region, making for a more competitive landscape within each and every McDonald's. McDonald's also specializes its IT force to create online orders and mobile orders to be made towards the app and through the restaurant. This cuts down wait times because there's already an order within the machine once the customer pulls in, also eliminating any time that needs to be made for a customer to have their order taken through a person working at McDonald's. This cuts unnecessary time and makes the time for food to get to the customer extremely faster. McDonald's also optimizes its food storage and cooking for the sake of speed. McDonald's has timers on every single thing they cook in their restaurant. Not only that, but they also have people working at specific places with their only job being to reload storage at every McDonald's. This allows to cut down times and it also allows for customers to get their food quickly and safely. This alone has led McDonald's to become one of the biggest fast food chains within the industry. However, with COVID coming right around the corner, McDonald's then had to change its vision statement from speed to safety, without compromising speed, of course. So, how did they do it? Well, McDonald's implemented a various amount of safety tricks throughout the restaurant to make their experience for their customers and their employees much more safer. One of the things that they did was implement hand sanitizers throughout the restaurants. This would allow for people to easily clean their hands and to eliminate all other sicknesses that might affect customers and employees. Another thing that they did was implement masks. So if you dined in at a McDonald's, you were forced to wear a mask. But also, if you worked at McDonald's, you would have to wear a mask as well to eliminate the need for COVID to go into other people's face and get them infected with it. Another thing that they did to implement safety within McDonald's was to keep 3 feet away from every customer and every employee. This would allow for the elimination of COVID effectiveness to be high and allow for a safer, more easier workplace and eatery. And lastly, what McDonald's did is they implemented credit card scanning machines outside of their drive-thru. This allowed for customers to scan their credit card with as little human contact as imaginable, eliminating a lot of circumstances that needed to be met for COVID to easily spread to one person to another. Because McDonald's was able to successfully implement safety while also profiting off the fact that people needed to have fast food at a fast, affordable rate, they were able to hit their targeted segment in COVID while also being able to outlast the disease entirely, allowing it to keep its maintained spot as one of the biggest corporate giants in the fast food industry. Overall, we can look at the fact that McDonald's knows when this field changes and how to adapt, and because of that, they're still here today.
Hello, I'll be discussing Golden Corral, America's favorite buffet chain restaurant. Here, I'll let you know exactly how Golden Corral survived the COVID-19 pandemic. I thought it was important to talk about some pre-COVID-19 success factors and the fact that Golden Corral has been successful in America for a very long time. How were they able to do that? Well, by offering high quality food at affordable prices and maintaining the highest standards for safety and sanitation. Customers want high quality food. We don't want to drain our bank accounts trying to get that. And we need to be able to trust that restaurants are maintaining the highest standards for safety and sanitation. The restaurant simply has to be clean, and Golden Corral has built that trust in the community by being able to offer high quality food at affordable prices and maintaining those safety and sanitation standards. They've also been doing good business for over 40 years, which is a testament to their good business practices. Now, buffet style restaurants depend on customers coming into the restaurant to experience true buffet style meals. So, whether it's an individual, a family, a church group, a sports team, or a corporate group, Golden Corral has been able to attract all of these different types of people into their restaurant to come in and enjoy their food at great prices. And they were very smart at offering breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So at any point throughout the day, anybody can come in and they can be able to enjoy those three different types of meals throughout the day. COVID-19 put a lot of stress on restaurants during this time, and many of them had to close their doors. But Golden Corral was not going out without a fight. So, how did they survive the pandemic? Well, they had to change their business model and adapt to the times. So, they were able to slash royalty rates for their loyal franchisees, which cut operation costs. And if you know anything about business, you know restaurants are always looking for ways to cut costs and increase profit. And they were able to do that for their franchisees, many of them who have been in business for 20 plus years. They also had to adapt to the times. During this time, the FDA was putting out a lot of information that had the population, that had the customers very scared. We did not want to go into the restaurant and be around a lot of different people as we did before because we were afraid of contracting COVID-19 from other people, and we just did not trust people handling the same utensils and being around the same food that we were eating, especially people who are sneezing and coughing. It just created a lot of fear. So Golden Corral had to step up and adapt their business model. How did they do that? They created a mobile app with mobile pay, curbside delivery, to go ordering, and they also incorporated Golden Corral is still going strong. And here's some other ways that they were able to survive the pandemic. They simply listened to their loyal customer base. Any company that listens to their customers and what their customers are telling them that they want, all they have to do is just meet that need as best they can in order to stay in business. They created a drive-through in 4 to 5 of their restaurants, making it convenient for their customers to come in, order their food, and go. They also started serving alcohol. So previously you were able to get tea, lemonade, and soft drinks, but they incorporated some pina coladas, some frozen daiquiris, and some beer in some of their restaurant, which was just there to enhance the meal, bring customers in. If customers know you can get alcoholic drink, it just made them very happy. They continued to encourage social distancing, wearing gloves, and wearing masks when you enter the restaurant. And they also had a lot of hand sanitizer stations around. So customers feel really comfortable and they know that Golden Corral cared about their safety. They maintain great relationships with their vendors, banks, landlords, and franchisees, continue to offer high quality food at a great price, and they just simply met the demand and maintained the trust of the customer. And by doing that, they were able to open 10 new restaurants during the pandemic.
I'll be covering Mr. Beast Burger, which is an online delivery only restaurant concept created by the popular YouTuber Jimmy Donaldson or Mr. Beast. It started as a limited time pop-up concept in 2020, and shortly after COVID-19 shook up the restaurant industry, it really took off. It created this space of virtual restaurants, which were relatively new at the time. And these virtual restaurants run primarily through partnerships with existing restaurants. They utilize their kitchens for cooking and fulfilling orders. And they operate exclusively through online ordering and delivery platforms like DoorDash, Postmates, and so on. Mr. Beast Burger is definitely what I would consider an innovative concept, as it exists solely in a digital space and it doesn't have any physical dining locations. It capitalizes on the growing popularity of online ordering and delivering platforms, especially since COVID-19. And it leverages the massive online following and influence of Jimmy Donaldson, or Mr. Beast, who has over 70 million subscribers on YouTube alone. The virtual restaurant model and online first approach has disrupted the already disrupted traditional restaurant industry, and it has challenged the need for physical dining spaces, which has allowed for faster expansion and greater flexibility, which all equal growth. And the association with Mr. Beast and his popular YouTube channel has created a very interactive and engaging experience for customers, which has really changed the world of food fandom. Mr. Beast Burger has an interesting range of menu offerings. They have burgers, they have chicken sandwiches, cheese sticks, soft drinks, and so forth. They definitely focus on delivering flavorful and high quality food, and they're often praised for their juicy patties, fresh ingredients, and well balanced flavors. They frequently like to introduce limited time menu items, and they collaborate with other brands and influencers, so this is obviously good for business. And they have adopted a competitive pricing strategy, which hopes to offer affordable deals and promotions. Mr. Beast Burger has certainly been successful for a multitude of reasons. Since its launch in late 2020, it's experienced significant growth and expansion. It initially started with a limited number of locations, but quickly expanded its reach across various cities in the United States, and it's seemingly popping up everywhere. This is partially due to the fact that they're using pre-established kitchens, so there's not a whole lot that goes into the process of establishing a Mr. Beast burger. And the financial figures are not publicly available, but increasing customer demand definitely indicates substantial growth since its launch in 2020. And Jimmy Donaldson's following also continues to grow. So I think it's safe to say that Mr. Beast owes a lot of his success to the pandemic and the shift from in-person dining to online dining.
Olive Garden is a casual dining chain that specializes in the Italian American cuisine. It was founded in 1982 by Bill Darden in Orlando, Florida, which is where its headquarters is still located. Its former name was The Olive Garden until it grew in such large size and has expanded a lot since then. It's the biggest Italian restaurant chain, and it's operated by Darden Restaurants Incorporated, which is the best casual dining restaurant operator in the country. Pre-COVID, Olive Garden had plenty of marketing changes in the works. They were cutting back on their food promotions and incentives to be able to create more opportunity in the future. They redesigned their menu to showcase two different platforms, one of those being the unlimited soup, salad, and breadsticks, and the other was their new Cucina Mia, which was a create-your-own pasta deal. They enhanced one of their best-selling and highest preferred entrees, which was the chicken Alfredo, by increasing the amount of chicken that was in the dish by 50%, and they also launched a beverage deal. 5 for $5, 5 alcoholic beverages at a $5 price. Olive Garden initiated the buy one take one to go promotion during COVID. This was a promotion that allowed a customer to order a meal and get a second one of equal or lesser value. They also promoted their mobile pay app to create more of a contactless environment during the pandemic. They utilized third-party delivery methods such as Uber Eats and Grubhub to get orders out. Olive Garden itself decreased their delivery fee from originally $100 minimum to $40 minimum, excluding California's, which was $75 minimum, and they reduced their menu options to simplify orders. That way they could operate at a more efficient pace. One of my recommendations is to promote more online ordering and curbside pickup options, as well as incentives monthly. This creates more customer engagement. This is a SMART goal that is specific because it puts emphasis on where the attention is focused on, which is monthly. The second one is to slightly decrease the menu options. The menu Olive Garden offers is very wide and diverse. If they were to slightly decrease their options, this would save costs as well as create a more operational efficient environment in their kitchen and in their dining room. This is a SMART goal that is relevant because being post-COVID, businesses had to shorten their menus, simplify them. That way they could get orders out to people who, couldn't really go out of their house during that time. Third would be to increase the market share by 10%. This is achievable by increasing innovative strategies within all aspects of the business, by building customer loyalty and pricing things and services efficiently. This is a SMART goal because it is measurable. Implementing a detailed employee training program that's available in a digital format is an attainable SMART goal and is needed so that, God forbid, something like COVID happens again or anything of the sort, they can train employees quickly and efficiently to get them ready for their jobs.
Chick-fil-A is an American fast food restaurant chain, the largest chain specializing in chicken sandwiches, headquartered in College Park, Georgia. They operate over 2,900 restaurants across 48 states. They are considered the undisputed drive-through experts, which really did serve them well at the launch and height of the COVID-19 pandemic. When inside services shut down, dedicated teams, they had stepped up and began testing new ways to elevate not only their guest experience, but also their team member experience, which helped improve their drive-through. Customer service is very important to Chick-fil-A. It's really a higher priority than the speed at Chick-fil-A. Loyalty is benefiting them during the pandemic because indoor seating was closed, but that drive-through stayed open. They created things like family meal bundles. That was added to their menu, emphasizing how to make things yourself, and also created what they called nightly nuggets, which included cooking videos and recipe cards shown here to help families cook meals. After the longest drive-through wait times among all of the fast food chains, again, it really didn't seem to matter to the customer. They continue to give high scores to Chick-fil-A. They don't seem to mind having to wait for their food. Safety is another important topic for Chick-fil-A. The first day of the lockdown, the company closed all of its dining rooms and transitioned over to the drive-through service for some time during the beginning and the height of the pandemic. Drive-through tents were erected that increased capacity for customers and then also for their workers as well. There were consistent lines waiting at most locations within the first few weeks of the pandemic. And nationwide, because of Chick-fil-A's ability to move cars through quickly, they reached out to Chick-fil-A managers across the country to help them facilitate the overwhelming traffic flow once people needed medical assistance, and then also once the vaccine was available. A lot of the lines caused dangerous traffic jams, and helping them to mitigate these road rage scenarios that were happening as well. The profits for Chick-fil-A during the pandemic, unlike many businesses, actually soared. People and operations matter in the productivity and growth of this business, and that really helped lead the charge in profit growth. They were able to update and enhance some of their older systems and processes in order to serve not only their customers, but again, their workers as well. They launched their new app, which at the time was 8 years old. This allowed them to start handling direct orders for pickup. So now a customer could access the restaurant in 3 different ways: through a delivery service, through carryout, and then through drive-through.
In conclusion, the pandemic taught us that we're all connected. The whole world is connected, and companies across the spectrum, even outside of restaurants, stepped up to do the best that they could and to help given our circumstances. Restaurants were one of the industries that was hit the hardest, and those restaurants that did survive did emerge with new and innovative ways to not only take care of their customers, but ways that their employees could be taken care of as well.